Welcome to the Healthy School-Home Connection Part 3, Education. It's more than what we think. My name is Bolanle Ambunije. Thank you for joining me. In this video, we will define education and the purpose of education. If our child were to come up to you and ask, "Daddy, Mama, what is education?" what would be your answer? These are common responses people often give when asked, "What is education?" Some common dictionary definitions are included as well. The problem with these definitions is they are incomplete. Many of our communities are at a disadvantage because we do not define education correctly, and that lack of a complete definition is one of the reasons our families and communities are in the condition we're in. Now we will learn a complete definition of education. This is a short definition of education. A process that equips a student to meet the challenges and solve the problems that affect a people. The majority of people in disadvantaged communities have never heard education defined this way. This definition expands our understanding of education, but we're not through. We'll come back to what people in a couple of minutes. Going deeper, education teaches us identity, who we are. Education teaches us our purpose, why we're here. Education teaches us direction, the way to achieve our purpose given who we are, our identity. Going deeper, education equips us with the will, that is the desire, as well as the skills, reading, writing, math, science, etc., to make sure a people survives, grows, and develops. Up until now, our understanding of education has been the learning of skills, but the will, the desire to ensure the survival, growth, and development of a people is just as important. Let's look at my community, the Black community, for example. We have people in our community who genuinely want to improve and strengthen the conditions in our community, but don't know how. They lack the skills. And we have a significant number of people in our community who have valuable problem-solving skills. There are many Black builders, politicians, medical professionals, law professionals, and educators. Black people had major corporations and have crucial problem-solving skills, but do not apply those skills to our needs. These people lack the will. Will and skills are equally important. Going deeper, education develops within us allegiance, respect, responsibility, and accountability to the group who created that educational process. I'm going to say that again because 80% of course takers miss this question in the affirmation of understanding that follows this video. Education develops within us allegiance, respect, responsibility, and accountability to the group that created the educational process, as well as that group's culture, their way of life, their values, their beliefs, how they look at the world, what's important to them and what is not, how they do things, their culture. Every people sets up an educational system to teach its children and citizens. The left side lists countries, whole nations who teach their people their identity, purpose, and direction, who teach their people to use the skills they learn to make sure their nation survives, grows, and develops, who teach their people to have allegiance, respect, responsibility, and be accountable to them and their way of life. That's why when a French person comes to America, he brings French ways with him because he was brought up in a French educational system. And when an American goes abroad, he takes his American ways with him because he was trained in an American educational system. The right side lists 5 of the innumerable subgroups in the United States. Boy Scouts have a separate system that teaches boys to call themselves Boy Scouts and to advance the agenda of Boy Scouts, which includes teaching other boys to identify as Boy Scouts and to learn and spread Boy Scout ways. Religious organizations have services, and many operate schools that teach their members about their religion to make sure their religious influence grows. If they don't do that, their way of expressing their relationship with the Creator will fade away. Jewish people are an example of a subgroup in the United States who operate with an understanding of education as explained in this video. Jewish people have an educational system wherein they teach their children to identify as Jewish and to use the skills they learn to advance the interests of their families and community. So, to summarize, education is a system set up by a people that equips a student with identity, purpose, and direction, as well as with the will and skills to advance that group, meet the group's challenges, and solve the group's problems. Going through an educational process develops within the student allegiance, respect, responsibility, and accountability to the group, and causes that student to believe and value what the group believes and values, and to do things and view the world the same way the group does things and views the world, to take on that group's culture. Thank you for viewing this presentation. Before we continue to the next lesson, Who All Educates, please complete the following affirmation of understanding to confirm your knowledge of what you've just learned. You must score 80 or above to advance to the next lesson.